Yo, what up, family? How's everybody doing? Happy Thursday, guys. It's that time of the day. Venus, Cholo, hello. I missed you guys. I really did, because I'm not that excited about today's podcast. And you know why? Because everybody today is going to have their own opinion about today's topic, right? Today's topic is about conspiracy theories, all right? Fake news or real shit, one of the two. We don't know. I'm one of those that may or may not believe it. You can probably guess which one that is. Do you guys believe in conspiracy theories? As much as you may want to? Like,
it depends. Totally depends. There's some really wild and crazy ones out there that I don't believe, wouldn't believe, would never believe. But there are some conspiracy theories that eventually turn out not to be theories. So you kind of never know. You gotta take each one as it comes.
Z?
Yeah, no, dog. That's a no for me.
A blanket no?
Blanket.
We
no.
agree on something.
They're fun. Don't get me wrong. They are fun, but no.
Well, guys, everybody in the chat, just let us know what you guys think about conspiracy theories. Do you guys believe in it? Do you guys not believe in it? What is your concept and thoughts about it? But first things first, I'm going to pass this off because I never go first, and I like that. Let's keep it that way forever. Venus, you go first on what you give us a conspiracy theory. Make me believe that it's real.
Oh, we want to start off with the heavy hitters. You know what? I'll start off with one that, I'll just spoiler alert, did turn out to be real. And this is like a favorite one of mine. It's the MK Ultra conspiracy theory. Pretty famous. It's a lot of people have heard of MK Ultra, and some people have maybe even like heard the term used like as a reference and not like known what it was about. So, but like MK Ultra was crazy. This is something our government did. In like the 50s and the 60s, the American government authorized the CIA in like a secret, top secret program to test the use of psychedelics and hallucinogens and to try to create a mind control weapon. Like at that time, they were like so sure that the communists had some sort of a mind control weapon, and our government felt like they needed to compete with that. So they primarily tested on prisoners, and they did some insane like torture plus like dosing people with high amounts of LSD. They hired Nazi doctors. They hired doctors who had performed atrocities in Japanese concentration camps. It was wild. This did stay like a secret. Like it was something that people talked about as a conspiracy theory because people survived this. It's not like everyone died. They were just like heavily psychologically scarred from it. There were deaths, but the people who survived these experiments went on to talk about it. They were treated like they were crazy. I mean, these are prisoners who are right. And they're like, the government experimented on me, dude. They made me trip, like they weren't taken very seriously. It was a conspiracy theory.
I would put him in jail so fast, bro. I'd call 911 so quick. Wait, hold on. So how long was it a conspiracy theory for before it was made like an actual like fact?
Well, it was definitely brought up like in the 60s and 70s, like during that cultural revolution. Like this was something that was like people would talk about to say, hey, like we can't just like trust the government. They will do these kinds of things.
I don't trust the government, but it's okay for many reasons.
Well, it turned out later, there was in 1977 Senate hearings on it. The Senate held these hearings to like go over the remaining documentation because almost all the documentation had been destroyed. When the program shut down in the 60s, the director, like the person who ran the program, ordered for all the documentation to be destroyed, and only a little bit of it wasn't destroyed, just like by mistake. So those documents, a cache of about 20,000 documents, that's what was analyzed at the 1977 hearing. And then in 2001, Freedom of Information Act made this information public. And so something that for decades throughout the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s had been kind of like is it true? Is it really true? Is it a conspiracy theory? And then we found out it was 100% real. That was a very real thing that happened. Something interesting that I read about this, Whitey Bulger, he was like a well-known crime boss at the time, and he was in prison, and he actually agreed to do these experiments or be part of it under the impression that it was like testing for treating schizophrenia, which is not what it was. they were testing him to see what the long-term effects of LSD are. So they dosed him with
Hell no.
LSD every day for over a year. So
Damn.
yeah, later on, when he found out what was really, beyond just his personal experience, but what really all of that was, that whole program, he told he was reported to have said to his friends that he was going to hunt down the doctor who was the head of the experiment and kill him.
Did
He
he
was
do it?
also he did, as far as I can tell, unless that's a whole nother conspiracy theory. If you want to think.
We need.
But something that was really really stirring for me, like kind of reading about this, is he's also quoted to have said, "I was in prison for committing a crime, but they committed a greater crime upon me." Because this wasn't just dosing people with a lot of drugs or for a long period of time. I mean, that stuff can be scary just by itself and damaging. They were also doing like electroshock therapy. They were trying to test like using psychedelics or LSD as an interrogation technique. So like imagine dosing somebody with a ton of LSD and then like brutally interrogating them like they're a terrorist for the next like 6 to 12 hours.
Hold
That
on.
would be mind breaking.
Hold on. So, so this conspiracy theory eventually formed into a theory, which eventually formed into facts, right? And so this is where we decided that we want to get political because this is about to get crazy. When is it to the point where we know that it's true or not, right? Because a bunch of people can just get together and start talking shit and start saying like, "Oh, this is what happened. I was there. I was a witness," but we don't know that for a fact or not. And so what do you think really destroys like how do I put this? What destroys us trusting other people to thinking that it's real? Because a lot of conspiracy theories, are just what we think and we're trying to prove it based on quote unquote evidence, right? So what do you feel like really destroys the value of trust when it comes to like our species as a whole? To me, I say social media.
You know what? Damn, that's crazy. That's 2 in a row. I think I have to agree with you on that.
What okay,
2
so
in a row.
Why what?
why do you feel social media like I know the reason why, but why do you feel social media like ruins, I guess, the trust in each other just to think if it's an actual theory or actual facts versus a conspiracy theory?
I mean, it's easy to just persuade someone through social media. Like you can create this fake person, this facade, this idea, I guess, of, hey, let's just believe this real quick and see how many people can actually join us in
Isn't that
this
scary?
belief. Yeah.
Well, and I think what's especially interesting about that, because I'm actually going to jump in and agree with this as well. I would also say social media is a big part of this. Part of this is the way that like conspiracy theories seed and grow, and then you combine that with the way that algorithms function. Algorithms are designed to take engagement and multiply. More people are going to see it if more people are talking about it, and it has nothing to do with whether or not it's true or trustworthy. So conspiracy theories, if they're shocking enough, if they're exciting enough, if they're relevant enough, can gain traction just because like the algorithms will push them because they're getting engagement. And then it just sort of snowballs from there.
I'm gonna make my own conspiracy theory. All right, right? I'm just kidding. It's already existing, but with social media, I personally, one of the things that I truly believe is government control. I know a lot of people have already said that in the chat, but do you know like what they have the power to do and what they don't have to do? They it's very little of what they can and cannot do. You know what I mean? What they can do is a high percentage, right? They can push out whatever they want. They could be actors for all we care and just put out some content and start making the theory saying that, oh, this is real, And one of the ones that I wanted to lead into was Area 51, government controlled location. Nobody's allowed to look in there and no one's allowed to talk about anything in and out of that location. Odd, right? Odd,
It
right?
is odd.
Only a little.
So why wouldn't you want to show the world that there are other forms of life outside of Earth? Why wouldn't you
National
want
interest.
why wouldn't you want people to know that?
Well, there's probably a panic factor. Like, I think it would probably make a lot of people panic. So I think in their mind, they justify it to some degree with that. But
Okay.
I agree. I feel like it's really sus, like this mystery around Area 51. But by the way, like whatever happened to rushing Area 51? Was that not like an event that was going to happen? We
That
were
was
all going to find out
amazing.
for real. I just, I was really hyped for that. I wasn't going to go, but
Oh,
I was
you were.
really excited.
I was really wanting to watch it on TV.
Yes, yeah, for real. I was
That's
hoping some
terrible.
idiot
Watch
would
it
just
on that
start
live
like
stream,
live
yep.
streaming the whole thing. Yeah.
And it's crazy to me because like I get the whole panic factor, right? But at the end of the day, that's limiting us to what we can do, to what we can learn about, to expand our intelligence of where we can and cannot go. Is it a threat or not? And so we've been to the moon.
Well,
And
actually, that's another
there's a conspiracy theory stating that he didn't actually go to the moon. You know what I mean? We've been on Mars.
Okay, but like, let
the
me
moon's
stop
actually
you
made
there
of
real
cheese.
quick.
Go ahead.
Because in talks of panic, uh, going back to COVID when it first started, and people were just rushing to get toilet paper
The
for
toilet paper
weeks on
panic.
end.
What was
This
that?
is exactly why I'm okay with Area 51 not showing out the aliens. No alien booty just yet.
We proved we couldn't handle it just by that alone. You're right.
Pretty
Steve.
much,
You're
yeah.
right.
And that leads to another factor for me. Oh my God, you guys it's kind of putting it together. But for
It's all coming together.
government control, right? What would happen if we release this information, right? So COVID was obviously like a thing, but there's also a conspiracy theory that COVID was actually a test
Right.
for government control. And what did we do? We f***ed that up. We went and bought all the toilet paper and showed them that we couldn't handle it.
We took that stimmy check and you said, well, you know what I need? I need 18 pallets of toilet paper. That's right.
And so, I just think that for me, there should always be progress, right?
Mhm.
And there should always be progress no matter what we do, no matter where we go. And to withhold some type of information like that, I think that's pretty big. To have some form of species to not tell to the public at one stage, or this has been going on for a long time. It's been over a decade already. So why would we freak out now? Like we're already seeing like people post videos on social media saying, "Oh, I saw a UFO. Oh, there's this weird thing in the sky. Oh, there's this weird look inside the grass fields." You know what I mean? So to me, this is why I don't really like anything about conspiracy theories, because a lot of people can just make up shit. And I don't know what to believe anymore. I don't know what to trust. And this is one of the other things. So this is another conspiracy theory that I found, right? Have you guys ever heard of the Yellowstone volcano?
Yeah.
Okay. So in Wyoming, there's a giant volcano, right? Under Yellowstone. And it's supposedly supposed to be this giant volcano that if it were to expand more, it'd be larger than 44 miles of acres, right? But here's the thing that confused me. It showed that, quote unquote, studies say that the volcano erupted 630,000 years ago. And that's what experts say, right? Holy shit. We're in 2023, damn it. Where has the other years gone by? So, and what were we doing? What were we doing to that point 630,000 years ago till now? That's my question. I have so many questions that are not being answered, but anybody can make up anything. Does that make sense? Does it not make sense? Am I?
Maybe.
I'm
maybe
sweating.
not. Yeah. Okay. So
I think
all I can
conspiracy
think
theories
of,
scare you. You're scared.
all I can think of right now is that meme from It's Always Sunny with Charlie Day. Just got everything mapped out, and he's just looking like a crazy man.
Holding the cigarette. Yeah.
You guys don't know, but I have a
Like,
billboard right over there of all.
They're all connected.
They're all connected dots.
twine. Yeah. You got to connect those dots.
And so here's the thing though. So when you say I'm scared, That's not the case for me. I feel that I don't have the knowledge and I can't figure it out. I'm not gonna go to Area 51 and be like, hey yo, let me in real quick. Let me see what's
Why
actually in
not?
there. I won't tell nobody.
Do it.
Who are you to tell me to go risk my life?
Hey, you need
I would
you have questions
disappear
that need
so
answering,
quick.
get them answered. Big sussy.
You know what else is sus?
Yeah.
Apparently Australia doesn't exist.
This is one of my favorite.
How stupid does that sound?
Wait, how did that was like the first time I ever heard that. How did you find out about that?
Well, let me tell you, there's an article
And
here.
Colony.
There's an article here that says this woman, there's a woman, which I'll tell you the name in a second, but the article is called "This Woman is Convinced That Australia Doesn't Even Exist and She Has Evidence." Just to give you guys some background, right? So Shelley Floryd, Floryd, I may be pronouncing that wrong, and I do apologize because I'm illiterate, but she quoted that Australia is not real. It's a hoax made for us to believe that Britain moved over their criminals to some place. In reality, all these criminals were loaded off the ships into the waters, drowning before they could see land ever again. It's a cover-up for one of the greatest mass murderers in history, made by one of the most prominent empires. Australia does not exist. All things you call proof are actually well-fabricated lies and documents made by the leading governments of the world. Your Australian friends? They're all actors and computer-generated personas, part of the plot of the trick of the world. So to my Australian friends out there, apparently you are not real. This is why
Damn.
I think conspiracy theories are absolutely stupid. For shit like thoughts? I can rant.
I feel like any conspiracy theory that you could so easily debunk yourself, such as buying a plane ticket, getting on a plane, and going to Australia, you don't deserve to be spouting theories. Go fly to Australia and then tell me if it's fake or not. And until then, like, I don't want to. This is anybody can claim anything, and that does get crazy.
Before you say
Here's
anything,
another one.
Okay. So the lady actually answered what you just said. Sherry said, if you think you've ever been to Australia, you're terribly wrong. The plane pilots are all in on this and have in all actuality only flown you to islands close nearby, or in some cases, parts of South America, where they have cleared space and hired actors to act out as real Australians.
That's so goofy.
That
bro.
is so complex. I love it. It's insane, but that is hilarious.
She has an answer for everything.
That's amazing.
That's
wow.
wild. You know
Well,
what,
imagine
let's
the
throw in
production value, like the budget for this. My God, it's
to
cost
keep
so much
that lie
money.
going for so long is crazy.
Yeah.
Damn.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she also stated
almost would have been
No,
stated what?
No, she also stated that Australia is one of the biggest hoaxes ever created, and you've all been tricked. So now she's starting to talk to like communities, people. Join the movement today and make it known that they have been deceived. Make it known that this has all just been a cover up. The things these quote unquote Australians say to be doing, all these swear words and actions based on alcoholism, MDMA, and bad decisions are always to distract you from the ugly truth that is one of the greatest genocides in history. 162,000 people was said to have been transported to this imaginary land during a mere 80 years, and they're all long dead by now. They never reached the promised land.
Damn. You know what? That goes in line with, and I also agree with Megalex, that I think the flat earthers who think the earth is flat, it's pretty much like the same thing as people that don't believe in Australia.
I think that is one of the dumbest ones ever.
You know, I knew someone in high school that this isn't even flat earth. This is someone that just would not just would die on this hill that the moon is yellow.
The moon is yellow.
And made of cheese.
Wait, made of cheese? That's a big jump. You should have led with cheese. Why did you?
That's not a thing. That's not.
Look, I wanted to
is that a
start
conspiracy
off
theory
small,
for real?
You know,
the moon is made of
probably
cheese.
Just to this person.
Theory.
Okay.
I mean, I've heard
probably just to this one person.
I was about to say, bro, because if it was made out of cheese, that shit would have been moldy by now, and we would have known.
Yeah.
We would have known.
Nah, dude, because it's supposed to be cold as shit out there. So
that doesn't mean it expands
It doesn't
shelf
expire.
life. Like,
It doesn't
that's
What do you
expire.
mean? It's a big freezer
I hate you
in
all.
Yeah.
space.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Why would it?
goodness.
Come on, man.
Of course. Come on.
Yeah. Do you guys have any other dumb
Yeah,
ones?
absolutely.
besides-
Oh yeah. So here's
Uh,
a silly one because since we're doing some just outlandish ones, this one was my favorite, just like out of pocket. Okay. John Benet Ramsey. Does that name ring a bell? Do you know who John Benet Ramsey is?
No,
Anybody in the
enlighten me.
chat knows John Benet Ramsey? All right, John Benet Ramsey. This is for like the true crime people, right? Like it's a true crime case, and it's famous because she was a 6-year-old girl in Atlanta, Georgia. This is back like in the 90s. Um, and she was murdered, but first she was reported missing. When they got there, they found the body. But she was like a pageant star. So there was like all of this like media attention around this case. And it went unsolved for like all these years. As I think it's still technically unsolved, though there's a lot of theories. Who killed John Benet Ramsey is its own conspiracy theory, but this is a specific one I really like. This conspiracy theory is that John Benet Ramsey actually is still alive. She's not dead, and that she's Katy Perry.
Yo. He's Katy Perry. And you know what? That would make sense because I don't know if you guys have seen this like
I've been
super
lied to my whole life.
this super popular video of hers, one of her concerts. I don't know if it was like, I don't remember if it was the Super Bowl halftime show or what, but there's a video of Katy Perry in the middle of her concert, right? And she looks over just standing still with like her arms like against her hips, right? And then like you see one eye just closes shut. And she's just like playing with it, just pushing it, trying to open it up, and it stays closed while the other one just like acting normal.
You're terrible. You're terrible for laughing. I'm terrible for
Oh my
laughing.
God. I wasn't laughing. What do you mean?
I'm gonna do more
I would never
research. I am definitely gonna do more research on that one. And guys, the answer is gonna come out on our social media. Just letting you know. That's where we're gonna be posting stuff like this when we when we find out answers for you. So if you guys have any questions, let us know what you guys want us to figure out. And if it's real or not, we will get to the bottom. I will talk to Katy Perry myself. I'm just letting you know that.
You heard it here first.
Hey, so this is
Funny thing, she actually responded to this. There was like a celebrity interview moment like in 2016 because this theory came out in 2014. And in 2016, she was being interviewed and the interviewer brought it up. They were like, "Are you actually John Benet Ramsey?" And she laughed and she was like, "No, that's not true." And I will say, like, it is a ridiculous conspiracy theory, but when they like superimpose like the Katy Perry face, like, and not just in one picture, like the video I saw, they did it with a ton of different pictures, both different pictures of Katy Perry and different pictures of John Benet Ramsey. But every time they put those faces together, I mean, if I didn't know any better, I would.
you're
If
lying.
you told me with no context that was the same person grown up, I would totally believe it. It really does match. So like I see where the conspiracy theory got its traction. It is silly, but like the theory, just to drill down into detail, is that she was this child pageant star. Everything's going wonderfully, but her parents were getting like alarming, creepy, harassing like letters and attention from men on like their 6-year-old daughter because she's like a pageant star. And so they wanted to remove her from the limelight until she was older. So they faked her death and then like she becomes an adult and is a star Katy Perry. That's the whole theory.
You see, and this is where it comes to government control because they are telling us to look at that versus something else. And I see you. You think you have me distracted. I see, even though I'm going to research it, I see you, government. I see you.
Speaking of government control, you guys ever hear about the conspiracy on Princess Diana's death?
Yes.
I've never.
So she tragically passed away in 97. And they blamed the driver.
Wait, who is Princess Diana?
She's from the
Bro.
she's the princess of the UK. I don't know, like
I'm not up to date.
Queen Elizabeth's
She was
kid.
part of
Okay,
the-
yeah.
she was
Oh,
part of
okay,
the
understood.
royal
Yeah, no,
family.
I know now. Sorry. My bad.
Okay, brother.
My bad.
Like, I don't
You
know.
just have to jump me up. But we've been
Wow.
talking a
I
little
don't
bit
know.
about government, Area
I
51.
don't know how to spoon feed this to you, brother.
Katy Perry's
but
not real. You just need to wait it out for a second. You just need to wait. Just let
Oh
me
my God.
process. We
my
He's
boy.
scared, okay?
just let me process. I can't understand.
Yo.
I'm jumbling.
Okay.
I'm jumbling it all together, bro. It's government control. Katy
Oh,
Perry
I
is
can
part of
tell.
Area
I
51.
can tell. They did like a quick lobotomy on you before we started this podcast.
Just a quickie Lobo, just real quick.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Got a little drool coming out your mouth.
Rest
right?
in peace to Princess. All right, let's talk. Keep going.
Oh shit. So she God. Anyways. Woo sorry.
No.
Anyways,
Oh.
they so she was being driven away from paparazzi because they were going apeshit on her. And the driver lost control of the car at the entrance of an underpass, sideswiping a white Fiat and hitting one of the pillars. And that's how they ended up passing away. She passed away. Her companion Dodie Fayed passed away, and then the driver passed away. The bodyguard was injured. That was in there, and he's the only one that survived. But the biggest conspiracy towards this is the fact that Diana was possibly going to announce a marriage and likely also a pregnancy with Dodie, which caused both the British security services and Prince Philip to act on this before they can go public. Did someone deliberately disorient the driver by flashing him with a flashlight? There was a former MI6 agent who was dismissed by the security services, said the British security services planned to sabotage a Serbian leader by dazzling a flashlight on the road of that tunnel for a fatal accident. There were also speculations of the British SAS, the Special Air Service, being involved. The Scotland Yard, London's big police department, launched a probe, and ex-soldier known as Soldier N allegedly claimed that the princess was murdered by the Special Forces unit who flashed a light using a technique developed to combat terrorists. And then another one was just the driver drunk, which wouldn't make sense at all. Did someone tamper with the seatbelts? Because detectives examined evidence that the seatbelt fastening pins were actually filed down. And on top of that, what a coincidence. None of the CCTV cameras were functioning at the time of the crash.
There it is.
There are so many things going on with this
Damn, that's
situation.
wild. That's I have so many questions.
I remember like, you know, when Princess Diana died, maybe not, but I remember hearing about it. I guess I was a little kid when she died, but like I remember definitely hearing conspiracy theories about Princess Diana's death, especially around the time that like Harry and Meghan were like stepping back from the royal family. I don't know if you guys are familiar with royal family politics. I'm not so much, but I'm a sucker for a conspiracy theory or a true crime case. And when I heard about this Princess Diana conspiracy theory, I was intrigued. It definitely seems very sus because Harry and Meghan, like when they were stepping back from the royal family, like Harry would talk about how his mother's death, Diana, both affected him. And I don't know if he personally shares any suspicion about what happened to her, but like the way that he and Meghan backed away from that family and from that whole situation, it sort of made a lot of people wonder, like, is there something more to these Princess Diana conspiracy theories? Is there something really to be afraid of in this powerful family, this royal family?
What are your thoughts, Colony?
I'm just so for me, I'm left confused. There's like a lot of things said, but there's a lot of things revealed. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so to me, when there's more information to be said, especially from and what what you were saying, that if he has information, and I don't know if he actually released that, because I didn't read into this, but if he actually had information and he were to say something and he has also suspicion, that makes me believe in a way where that's like there's more to the story than
Could be true.
that could be true.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So for me, that's a giant conspiracy theory. And like I said, I'm not one to really believe in a lot of them, but that's like in how Venus said that more into true crime. I'm also into like into that sort of category, but to have that and still go on about that story is kind of wild to me versus saying rest in peace, Diana. Like that's I don't think it's over. And why is it taking so long to unveil it? You know what I mean?
Well, some of those questions have been around since
Then.
she passed
Exactly.
then. But why they go unanswered? Because there's no hard proof left around to find. Which is kind of the really scary part. But yeah, that is a sad one. R.I.P. Princess Diana, you were a real one. And yeah, lots of questions, lots of raised eyebrows.
What about you?
Very
Zane?
sus.
Look, man, they're always dirty over there. Like they're always doing some goofy shit over there.
Oh my god, boofing.
Boofing.
So, you know what? It's not just over there. Oh no, go ahead.
Because I mean, even Kimberlyn, she ended up bringing something up too. You know, they can't share a suspicion that implicates the crown. Plus, it's been proven the royal family was extremely racist towards Meghan, which was another part of them stepping down.
Damn.
Like it still goes on today. Like
and that's not like a rumor or a theory. Like Meghan has come out and talked about it pretty openly. Like and so she firsthand has been like, this is like the types of discrimination I experienced over there. So like not speculation, definitely like, you know, this is the vibe. This is the vibe over there. Not good.
That's pretty real. That's pretty real. But you know what a lot of people are saying are not real? Birds.
Oh, I love this one. Oh, I love this one.
Birds are not real.
oh my god.
I almost want this to be true because it's just so goofy
Stop.
and almost kind of whimsical. Like there's just something
Stop.
so
It's
fun
not
about
real.
Oh
Birds are real. I've held one before. Chickens are birds.
You don't know if there was wires inside it. Just because it made noises and you hold it.
I eat them. There's no wires. I taste no wires. I eat them.
Do you kill the chicken yourself or do you buy it at the grocery store?
I buy it at the grocery store. I look at the meat. I cut it. There's no wires inside.
Maybe the meat you're buying at the grocery store is actually just like Soylent Green style, like, you know, suspiciously made.
I am so pissed off of this one, but I need to tell you guys. So birds aren't real. So it's a conspiracy or more. Listen, I'm so mad about this one because this it's a movement developed by Peter McKindo, 23, who started spreading the idea in 2017 that they're drones, that they're watching all of us. That's it. Now, reasons why I think this is dumb. One, I eat birds. They taste delicious, by the way. If you haven't had any, you can go to your local Walmart.
You eat meat that you call bird.
Stop creating a conspiracy with a conspiracy. This is why nobody trusts anybody anymore, because of shit
Especially
like that.
People from Florida.
That is. Give me a minute. Let me explain myself.
We just figured it out. We finally hacked into one of the bird drones. We saw what was inside it. And we were like, oh, cool. And we harvest it for parts and, you know, use it for.
You guys like to live where hurricanes happen. That's not figuring it out.
Yeah.
No.
You figure it out.
No. You've eaten a bird. I know you have.
Cars aren't real. Birds aren't real.
I drive one every day. So.
It's all in your head, bro. Walk everywhere.
So, and this is the wild part, right? This is the wild part. Here in the Chicago area, geese are protected. You know what I mean? They got this little thing on their ankles saying you can't kill this. You know what I mean? And so,
they got that little house arrest bracelet going on.
My mind just started wandering on this topic, even though I know it's completely stupid.
Or maybe they're making you believe those are geese when they're really not.
That's exactly what
That's why they're off limits.
that's why they're off limit. And that's why I was like,
Yeah.
all right,
But
is it that stupid? And then I came back to my senses and I was like, yeah, it is pretty stupid because birds are real. We used to have a pet bird. You know what I mean? But were they watching me? Like, there's so many questions that you can just make up by yourself. And I think that people are trying to embed this into your mind.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
And
Okay.
now when it comes to, so nobody knows coming out saying eagles might be drones. That's why it's illegal to shoot them, aka also government control symbol, the American eagle. You know what I mean?
Mhm,
We're
mhm.
we're starting to
They're just
investigate
pet
this. We're
drones.
getting it down right here on Podkrew.
Mhm.
We're figuring out
I'm
the
just-
mystery. But the birds aren't real movement has a staff. It has organized real life protests. It bought real life billboards, and they have vans.
Okay, I didn't know that. That's incredible. Where do I sign up?
kind of vans are we talking about? Like
What'd you just
vans
say?
or like
What'd you just say? No, what'd you just say? Where do you sign up? Listen.
They sound really organized. They're already way ahead of the flat earthers.
Oh, that's why you would join. You
They
guys,
live way ahead.
you guys have your paperwork on file. I think this is a pretty great movement. Yeah, I don't know. I just think this is one of my dumb ones.
I like
What
it.
do you mean? I believe
Freedom
that
drones.
one.
Stop.
Freedom drones. Yes. No, I also had a pet bird when I was a kid. So no, I know birds are real, but you can't stop me from loving this conspiracy theory. I aggressively love it. I think it's fantastic. And I hope one day that even if all birds if all birds remain to be real, we just, maybe get some bonus drone birds just for for funsies. Just sprinkle them in with the normal bird population. And then the second anyone gets suspicious enough to kill a bird and find out if it's real, odds are pretty good they're going to kill a real bird, and then they're going to feel awful. They're never going to do it again. So you have
I'd
these
eat it.
sleepers.
No evidence. No evidence. I know what I'm eating at Walmart.
No case. That's right.
So, Colony, I don't know if you have another one up your sleeve, but we're about to go down this rabbit hole, my brother.
Why me? Like, out of both of us? Why?
Specifically.
You'll see.
Why
You'll see. You'll see.
Does this involve my culture? Does this involve my name? Does this involve?
It just involves you.
Okay, I'm skip.
Simple as that.
All right, let's go. What's
Skip you?
what's up?
All right, cool.
Yeah,
All
what's
right,
up?
cool. Well, I'm about to bring in one. I've always thought this one was interesting. Like, I've known about this for a long time, but now I finally ended up doing a little bit of research on it. But if anyone's ever heard of the Satanic Panic, it's essentially a societal fear of the occult that troubled the US and other parts of the world through the 80s and 90s. As well, I guess you could also say like some parts today, but it had a pretty meaningful time in the 80s. The Satanic Panic had the media depicting teenagers as godless and the deviant music and media they consumed. This led to a number of high profile criminal cases that were heavily influenced by all social hysteria. Most people associated the Satanic Panic with satanic ritual abuse, which is, I mean, pretty much what like people think about when they hear Satanic Panic is that, which led to the West Memphis 3 in the 90s, where 3 teens whose wrongful conviction on homicide charges were based on little more than suspicion over their goth lifestyles. At the core, ritual abuse claims relied on overzealous law enforcement, unsubstained uh, statements from children, and above all, coercive and suggestive interrogation by therapists and prosecutors. Some people facing life sentences for crimes they most likely did not commit. The Memphis Three were eventually released in 2011 after spending 18 years wrongfully in prison. Witness the recent controversy with Doja Cat's Paint the Town Red. Tons of people on TikTok are talking about how celebrities are satanic or whatever just for doing a song like the one that she did. But going even deeper than that is like in the late 90s, Marilyn Manson was blamed for influencing the perpetrators of the Columbine shooting. And just the legacy of the Satanic Panic is now just interwoven in American culture and politics all through QAnon and beyond. And the real fear, at least for me, is tomorrow someone could decide that the demonic influence is you.
Me?
Yes.
Possibly. Possibly.
And I'm
Hell
going to
no.
corroborate it.
Thoughts. You guys are very like starstruck here.
I'm thinking because this is a huge interest of mine. So yes, the Satanic Panic was this mass hysteria event, and it did directly, lead to like the Memphis 3 and their wrongful imprisonment. What's really one of the aspects of this whole mass hysteria thing with Satanic Panic that's interesting to me is a technique that became popular at the time was to using certain therapy techniques retrieve repressed memories. And these repressed memories would I'll just skip to the end. These repressed memories weren't real. Like they were being teased out of them. The way that this stuff was already in their head, the Satanic Panic was already making people scared. They'd go lay down on a therapist's couch. The therapist would go through some like meditation, close your eyes, blah, blah, I want you to think back. And you're inviting someone to pull memories out of somewhere like as if they're repressed or that they're like, blocked. And what would really happen is people's deepest subconscious, like their fears and all the Satanic Panic stuff they would create these repressed memories. They'd lay there and go, "Oh, I remember I was asleep in my bed and then a circle of people were around me chanting, holding a knife and stabbing a baby." Like and they would for a while saying, "Oh, I had these repressed memories unlocked and this is the stuff I remembered." Was considered like credible testimony, and in those, situations it did not, bode well for anyone who was on the receiving end of that. But very interesting.
You're making me panic of being satanic. You know what I mean? That's kind of like, and you don't even get a choice. You know, it's just bestowed upon you. Like,
Yeah, like you're just wearing black, maybe like some sort of like devilish design to your shirt or pants or
I
whatever.
thought you were
And
talking about now. I'm like, bro, I'm wearing Adidas.
like, yeah, people could just point out that you're a Satanist or satanic in general, and just, you know, death to the witch.
Kimberlyn comes up and says, "What's hilarious to me is they actually primary belief within the Satanic Church is basically do what you want as long as you cause no harm to yourself or others." Um, Controversial. It that to me, I'd believe it.
Well,
I
you know what?
I
There's
I honestly would say that is something that I probably had, and I sing that song by Doja Cat every day, so that's actually pretty wild. That's
It's a
actually,
banger.
I mean, it is a banger, but it's you know what I mean. It's the not only the music but the lyrics that get to you, and even the lyrics could be some shape or form of, I guess you could say, uh, what a lot of people like to say is the hypnosis of music. You know what I mean? It gives you a melody that makes you so interested, but it's giving you those thoughts through the lyrics that could essentially form you in a way that you don't want to be formed. And I've always found that very interesting. So the fact that you say this, that actually is pretty wild to me. Not that I'm intentionally going to be demonic or or believe in saying, but that is a really good one. I like that one. I've never heard of that one.
yeah, that's
I like it. Not that I look forward to it, but I like it.
That is a good one. I there's more than one true crime case that's like connected to the Satanic Panic. The Memphis 3 is probably the most famous, but um you mentioned something there at the end though about how, it could lead to anything, even QAnon. Did I hear you correctly?
Yes, you did.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to talk about QAnon. Let's talk about
Go
it.
ahead.
Let's talk about it.
You're not allowed
okay,
to.
okay. Let's talk about QAnon.
First of all,
Okay.
does everybody know here what QAnon is? If not, Kim.
I'd be surprised if everybody didn't know what it is. But if you don't know what it is, QAnon is it is what is now referred to as a big tent conspiracy theory, meaning it's a conspiracy theory that houses many other conspiracy theories. It has grown into a bit of a mess, we'll say. It started around like the 2014 to 2016 era, but definitely by the time we hit like 2016, it was then like blown. It was starting to catch on. But it started actually on 4chan. Some of you may know what 4chan is. Not everybody will. You guys know what 4chan is?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I'm
you're
innocent.
so wholesome.
I'm innocent.
You're so innocent. Aw. Okay,
I think
don't
you're
go
lying.
there.
Is it like an OnlyFans? Like what?
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Free OnlyFans.
Yeah, you go type in, go check it out. You'll love it.
Yeah.
It's great.
I don't want to.
Make sure for your filter you put Tumblr in there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
So someone named Q began to leave cryptic, politically charged messages 4chan. And long story short, like it caught traction. And the more that people engage with it, kind of like I was talking about earlier with social media, the more that people engage with it, the more traction it got. And then this weird thing happened where like it started to become more believable because Trump was feeding into it. Trump knew that like the QAnon general following supported him. That was a big part of the whole QAnon core lore, so to speak, which is that the government is run by a cabal of baby eating, adrenochrome sucking lizard people, basically, who harvest dead babies to harvest adrenochrome to live forever. That's like Pizzagate. So here we're already like tying in, multiple conspiracies. But Q was posting about how Donald Trump is going to be the one to take down the deep state. And so at some point, Donald Trump started kind of like feeding into the QAnon stuff. He would retweet QAnon posts. He would like make little vague references about like, the storm that's coming. And that was something that was really prevalent in like QAnon postings is like the storm. And so what I think happened is that there was a part of this conspiracy theory that really rooted for some people because they saw in their eyes like someone who is enabling it. Like when you have somebody who is in that like big role of being seen by everybody, but they're acknowledging something like this, a lot more people are going to believe it. But then you had COVID. COVID was another big part of how QAnon took off. There was actually some data to show that like QAnon traffic jumped like 150% after quarantine. So people being stuck inside, being online, a lot of distrust around vaccinations, distrust around COVID. Is it a hoax? It drove people to this big tent conspiracy, which basically said, all of the above. Yeah, deep state, celebrity pedophiles. Yes. The vaccinations are a lie. The COVID's a lie. No one died. They're making it all up. And they want to control us. So it became this huge overarching thing to the point where, like people felt really like connected to it. Like Q would leave what's called breadcrumbs, these cryptic messages. And then he or they, whoever it was, because no one knows for sure who it was, but they would expect people to bake the breadcrumbs to make bread. So you take the bits of cryptic information, the crumbs, put it together and make the connections yourself, baking, and then bread is your product, your conclusion. So another angle of this is that people were participating. It was a conspiracy theory that was also a puzzle that you were invited to complete.
Hell no,
I
I
think that-
decline. Hell no, I decline. I ain't solving that. I could do my Monopoly puzzle over there.
Some Sudoku, something, people.
I got a Pokemon
No.
puzzle, 50 pieces right here, and I'll finish
Now,
it.
I will say this. This is where I think it's unfortunate how people's fears get capitalized upon. I think it's healthy to have certain amount of distrust for the government, or even in like a medical arena. Like, don't get me wrong, like I'm not big into medical hoax stuff. I listen to my doctor. I think doctors generally know best. But like, it's good to be informed. It's good to know like what's in something. It's good to make decisions and advocate for yourself. It's good to distrust the government a little bit. All of these things are true, but you capitalize on somebody who like is maybe in a vulnerable place or an unsure place about what level of distrust to have about these things, and it can just go all the way to crazy town, which is personally where I think QAnon goes if you follow the rabbit hole down far enough, because wow, it gets pretty crazy.
I mean, it all
Ye-
connects, but I think it's crazy. I
It
they're
all
trying to
connects
make
in like some sort of like spaghetti formula.
Yeah,
It's
the
just
spaghetti
how
monster.
the
you
fuck
got a bowl and you got spaghetti in there, and it's just like, okay, I guess this all works.
he's really talking right now.
Well, it's kind of the way that our brains interpret patterns, though, right? Like we can look at
Yep.
something that's a jumbled up mess, and our brain will try to make sense of it. Our brain will try to put together a logical narrative of how point A connects to point B, connects to point C. It's how we've evolved. It's like it's our survival mechanism is to be able to think that way. But it is very misapplied when you're looking at QAnon breadcrumbs. That's not.
But there's a lot
We
of
can
people
do better.
too. There's a lot of people too that just they will take any any little thing that they agree with and they'll just run with it.
And that's what she was stating though. What's the level of trust or distrust that you would have it, towards, I guess, that scenario or it as a whole? You know what I mean? And I don't know. I personally can't believe it because I don't believe in people when it comes to stuff like this. And that's where I could be wrong. I could be wrong. You know what I mean? To what you stated in the beginning. For many years they were saying that, hey, this was I have evidence. This is it, and no one believed them. I could be right now one of those people, but to me it's just people spreading a bunch of lies. I don't like being lied to.
It is possible.
like being-
We can't totally rule it out, but it is pretty outlandish. For me, one of the lines in the sand that I tend to draw about conspiracy theories is how organized are people saying that it is. So, for example, like I can't take the QAnon stuff because I'm like people. Even when people are supposed to be working together in an organization, have y'all ever worked for a company? People suck at being able to be organized,
Yes,
keep their
they
mouth
do.
shut, do what they're told. It's like herding cats. And so, like, I can't imagine to a certain degree such a level of complexity, like with crisis actors, that kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
there's no way, because of human error, like, there's just no way you could have that many people involved and it all be going that perfectly. That's where I'm like, I don't know. I don't think I'm buying what you're selling.
But they could also, so take under consideration though. Let's say, for example, like a giant organization, right? They hire those with a higher level of intelligence in order to run the business very smoothly, right? I mean, that's why you probably, and not, I'm not saying that in the field you might have like the best quote unquote employees there, but when it comes to the higher ups, they have to have some sort of give for them to take. You know what I mean? And I can see a giant group of intelligent people putting it together, making it seem it's real. But to actually be real, that's obviously that I don't believe. But I wouldn't put in doubt that they scouted people. They looked pretty hard.
Well, that's where stuff like MK Ultra turning out to be true speaks to what you're saying, which is that, like, if you are going to do some crazy shit, you better be hiring people that are not going to talk, that get it done, that are clean cut.
Exactly.
Right. And then maybe you can do something behind the scenes like that. But, it's scary to think what could be going on behind closed doors.
There's no room for people like that Sherry who say Australians aren't real. There's no room. They just.
What do you mean
allowed.
they're not real?
No,
What do you mean?
No, I'm
the
saying
birds are in Australia.
I said Australia. Sorry, I said Australians are not real.
Oh, well,
Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
I don't know. My mind's on the birds. I can't stop
Yeah.
thinking about the birds.
That's why I'm saying the birds are in Australia.
The
real
birds are,
ones.
all the real birds
The
are in
real ones.
Australia,
Oh,
which
the
isn't
real
real.
But
Yes,
Australia is
we
not.
cracked it. We cracked the code.
That's so stupid. This is.
It's true. So true, guys.
I'm writing this down. This is.
We're
the-
gonna need
we're-
our resident imaginary friend Dorito to, get us a one-way flight over there and figure this out.
Birds are real and all in Australia, which isn't real.
That's the conclusion.
Understood.
It's the only logical
I
conclusion.
love it. I love it. Jojo says
Yes.
one way.
Yes, Jojo, one way.
One
Wait,
There's
way.
no
we're not,
going
we're
back.
not, it sounds like you going on that plane yourself.
What do you mean you're coming with? We're gonna do our last episode
no.
there.
I'm gonna do my
Our
puzzles.
last episode.
I'm gonna do my puzzles.
You do your puzzles.
There's no. Any other conspiracy theories that you guys have?
That's it.
I'm good.
I love it, guys. If you guys have any additional conspiracy theories that we should talk about in a later episode, we won't mind coming back to this, as we found it very fun.
Highlight.
We had a lot of fun doing a lot of research about this stuff. So if you guys haven't already, if you type in !Podkrew in the chat, you guys can let us know on our social media what you guys are looking for, what you guys want to see, what you guys want to hear. With that being said, Venus, Z, it was a good one, guys. Look out for the next episode. If you guys want to hear about what episodes are coming up, you guys can follow us on our Discord, join in, and you can actually see what future episodes that we're going to be having. So otherwise than that, guys, everybody in the chat, we appreciate you guys so much. We love you guys so much. Thanks for coming in, and then we will see you guys on the Thursday after next Thursday. We love you guys. Have a good one.
I'm waiting and waiting around, yeah. Switch it up, take it, set me on a trip.